everyone, and welcome to Choosing Plants. My name is Heather, and this is the YouTube channel where I do different 30-day vegan challenges. And the one that I have selected for this month is actually going to be a vegan Weight Watchers program. So I've never done Weight Watchers in the past, even when I was non-vegan before. I do have a friend actually that works for Weight Watchers, so I asked her a few questions to see if I kind of had a little bit of an idea about what the program is like. And it sounds to me a lot like the program is very much a social support group, which is really awesome. And they definitely provide online help and assistance. And from the sounds of things, they've gone through quite a few different iterations of the program as the years have gone by. And the most recent ones were, let's see, what was the one called? It was like Simply Filling Techniques or something like that. Anyway, it was basically a program where you had a piece of paper and it had foods on it, and you ate only those foods on there. And that actually seemed like it would be okay. I mean, there was like things like pasta on there, English muffins, all sorts of stuff on there. But it was still very restricted to, it's on that paper, you eat it. If it's not, then I think that you probably had extra points that you could use to eat the few things that weren't on that list. But anyway, that was one of the options. And then up until just recently, they've had what they've called, and it's still going on, something called Smart Points, which is basically how you calculate what it is that the food that you're eating, the value of the points. You have a certain number of points every day that you can eat, and then an extra number of points that you can have for the whole entire week. So it sounds like it could be something that would be beneficial to people if they are really good at being held accountable to what it is that they're eating. So the one thing that I think this actually would work out very well for me in terms of the foods that are allowed. There's two things. One is that they've got something called 0 points foods, and they've just expanded that to have, there's over 200 things. I actually printed out a list right there. And basically it's no longer just fruits and vegetables. Apparently fruits and vegetables, if not always, for a long time have been 0 points, and you can have as many of them as you want type of thing. I mean, it's always a till comfortably full. You don't get to just eat however much you want. But so it used to be that they had a certain number of foods on there, and they've just recently expanded it to a new program that's called Freestyle, and that has over 200 foods on that paper that are 0 points. So when you eat them, you don't have to count them as any points. So my biggest concern about this challenge is that a lot of the foods that I already eat are on this list, and I don't really know, like, if I can have a big bowl of soup and it's all vegan, all vegetable based, and you put beans in it and beans are free, then, I mean, you didn't use any points in doing that. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that you would have an extra 20 whatever points you would have for the day for eating foods when you've already had your food. I'm still a little bit confused about this. So anyways, if any of you out there are watching this and are watching in real time, and you are a Weight Watchers participant and you have any tips for me, please feel free to leave them in the comments. That would be super helpful. But basically what I'm going to be doing is counting points, and I used a calculator to figure out with the Freestyle, the way the program is set up now with the Freestyle and all the extra foods that are 0 points, you actually get fewer points now than you used to. So when I calculated it, I actually should have 23 points a day for foods to eat, and I believe it's 35 points over the course of the week that are extra points that you can use if you wanted to have something that would not make it into your day, or if you, like, maybe if you had plans for the weekend, you're gonna have a party or something like that, that would help tide you over for that. And then also, as you lose weight, you get less points, which makes sense. Because hopefully if you are way less, you don't need as much sustenance to keep you going. So I do know that if I lose 4 pounds, or once I lose 4 pounds, so I will have to go back to weighing myself. Once I lose 4 pounds, I need to go down to 22 points a day rather than 23. So yeah, so that's fine. That sounds exciting. That's something I can do. I've kind of been looking forward to this challenge because you really can eat, you kind of can eat anything you want, really and truly. You just can only eat a certain amount of anything that you want, which is fine. So I will be counting points for the meals that I eat and sharing them with you. I've got a bunch of recipes that are Weight Watcher friendly recipes, but like I said, a lot of the recipes that I make already are really close to, if not 0 points. So we'll have to see how that goes. One thing that is a caveat for this is that fruits and vegetables eaten whole, cooked, frozen, canned without sweeteners, all that's fine. But once you take a fruit and make it into a smoothie, that's not fine anymore. So that doesn't count as 0. So if you want to have a fruit smoothie, that's absolutely fine, but it has to count, and you count all the fruit that you put in and all the vegetables, whatever it is that you put in there, you actually do have to count that. So that is something to keep in mind. That's not a free food on that list of options. There are a lot of things though that are really cool that are on the list of free points. Like you can have lentils, you can have beans, you can have tofu. So that's kind of neat, because those things would normally, I would think, would be more, especially like the beans, the calorie dense, really healthy for you, but that kind of surprised me that those were on the list of things that could be free. Things that might not surprise you that are not going to be free are vegetables or fruit like an avocado. That does not count because that's very high in fat, although delicious. So, yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to this challenge because from what I understand, people that are part of Weight Watchers as a group on the whole tend to be very satisfied with the program from what I've heard. I know, granted, that's from someone who's part of the program, but she also hears the negative sides that people come up with as well. So my friend that I was talking to about it. So anyways, I'm kind of excited about this. I think it's going to work out really well. If you have, again, any tips, things that you might want to suggest that I do, please let me know. There are definitely calculators online that you can use and help you to figure out how many points the foods are worth. So I will be doing that. The cool thing is, so say you made a salad and you had beans in it, like a cold salad, beans and corn, which corn is free now apparently. It didn't used to be. It has onions and peppers, all that kind of stuff, and that's all free. Cool. So if you want to put avocado in this salad, and the reason I'm saying this because I saw a recipe and it looked really fabulous. Anyway, so you put some avocado in the salad. When you go to add up the points for your food, you don't have to put in anything into your calculator that's 0, which is kind of cool because you don't have to try and figure out how many calories are in a pepper, how many calories are in an onion, how many calories are to add it all up, which granted there's programs online that do that for you too, but it seemed kind of nice to me that you could just count the stuff in your recipe that's not on the free foods list to try to figure out how many points it is that you're eating. That's kind of neat. That would be kind of convenient. So anyway, that is it for me. I'm going to be starting this challenge tonight. Before I go to work, I will be making a recipe for you guys, and I'm looking forward to it because I think it's going to be fantastic. But that's it for me. So I will see you guys again very soon, and I hope you are having a fabulous day.